Welcome to Tanakh Talk. This is our no music intro and exit due to Tish B'Av, and wanted to invite you all and thank you all for tuning in for another episode of TNT Exposed, the Twisted New Testament, with Rabbi Stuart Federow, who is enjoying the luxury of a interesting, nice little hotel suite right about now. Rabbi, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Oh, hold on. I turned up the wrong knob. There you go. I got you. I turned up the color instead of the Skype. Too many buttons. Good to see you.
Like I said, good to see you. It's been too long.
Nice. We couldn't do the finger dance today, so sorry about that. Yeah, it has been a while.
I miss it too.
Yep, it sure has been. It's been a while for sure. I got too many mices, too many rodents here. Hang on one second. I'm gonna go ahead and log into to the Ring Central, so the phone lines will be open. And they are officially open right now, so I'll put the phone number. Nice hat, by the way. It fits you so perfectly. The lamp. Yeah, the way you had the camera a second ago, it literally did look like a little white hat. That was cute. Okay, so let me put the phone number up on the screen. It's probably rolling here right now, but then we'll flip it up on the other one in a few minutes. So yeah, this is episode 60-something. I don't see my screen. I'm going to have to keep the monitor going on the YouTube page like you mentioned earlier, so I need to put it somewhere closer where I can see the text. Let's see. We are live. Everything looks good. And let me drag the screen to where I can see a little bit bigger without cutting you off. Okay, there we go. So, all right, 16 already here. Shalom, Rabbi Wil'lam, y'all. Delane Davis, good to see you. That's in my Bible. Nice hat, Rabbi. He said the same thing. Jacob Daniel, good to see you.
It's my Bukharian yarmulke.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, yeah. How has your journey been this past week or two?
Let me tell you about my journey.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Started on Sunday the 2nd when I flew to Baltimore Washington International Airport. Was picked up by a gentleman named Mark Powers. Mark Powers is the past head of Jews for Judaism Baltimore, and then he became a part of something called Magain, which is basically like Jews for Judaism, except that it's out of Russia.
Oh, interesting.
And you have to remember that a lot of the targets of the Messianics, Jews for Jesus, Hebrew Christians, whatever they're calling themselves this week, is towards the Russian Jewish community, because under communism, they had no religion. They really don't know anything about any religion at all. So they're easy targets by the Messianics.
Right.
At any rate, what we did was there's an annual convention of the Messianics. Believe it or not, it's called Messiah, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And the college where they have the actual convention at is called Messiah College.
Interesting.
And it's the Messianic Jewish Alliance of America International Convention. And we're not allowed on the property. If we're on the property, we'll be immediately arrested for trespassing.
Wow. That's lovely.
And yes, exactly. They set up 2 tents, kind of like you'd see at a tailgate party or whatever.
Right.
Okay. And we sit under there off the campus, barely off the campus, maybe 200 feet, let's say, from the campus, which is open space and it's legal for us to be there. And we just wait. And every single automobile, car, truck, you name it, that passes in front of us, we wave to.
Interesting.
And
Delane Davis says that she saw a video of you both outside the convention. That convention.
Right.
Where's the video? I want to see the video.
Wait. I'm sorry?
Where is the video? I want to see it.
It's probably on YouTube under Mark Powers.
Okay. Gotcha.
Personal page.
Gotcha. Okay.
But so we just sit there and wait for people who are in the convention to come talk to us. And they walk out to us, or they drive out and get out of their cars and come and talk to us. We had less than 10, maybe more like 6 to 8 people, let's say, over the course of the few days I was there, because I was there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and left Thursday. And it's amazing. William, it's everything you're already used to.
Okay.
It'll be people trying to come and convert you. It'll be people who have honest, truly, from their soul, their heart, questions that they want to know because they don't know. And they're searching. And when we did this, well, they do it every year, but when I joined them the last time, which was 3 years ago, Michael Brown even came out to talk to us.
Wonderful. I bet he wasn't there this year,
though. No, not that I know of.
Right.
And I know that the attendance there has gone down. At least that's what I've been told. Okay. And it's amazing because, William, these are whole families that go to retreat. They have educational stuff for children. They have teenage activities. They've got all the way up in age.
Right.
And all of these people, all of these families, all of these children think that they're Jews.
Interesting.
Don't understand. They don't understand a lot. They only know what they're told, what they've been brought into, or what they've been raised up as. Because the Messianic movement is old enough now that you'll have people who are 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, okay, who grew up as part of the Messianics.
There's a YouTuber, not Muslim, says, ever check out the quote-unquote Facing Each Other YouTube channel? It says it's an Orthodox Jew who accepts Yeshua as Messiah. My only comment to that, and you probably will at least partially agree, that anytime you hear somebody says, I'm an Orthodox Jew that believes in Messiah, 99.9% of the time, they're not even close to Orthodox Jew. They may have a family member that was Orthodox Jew, but they themselves were never Orthodox Jew. That's just a claim to try to trick people, say, hey, I'm Orthodox, and if I believed it, then you can believe it too.
Orthodox because they can't say that I was nothing, okay?
Right.
But because it gives credibility, because you know that all Orthodox Jews know absolutely everything and anything there is to know about Judaism.
Right.
So by saying I'm an Orthodox Jew, but now I'm a Messianic or a believer in Yeshua, which he was never called in his whole life.
Mystery. Good reply.
It gives him credibility because, he knew all of Judaism, but he became a Christian.
Right.
He became a believer. So that's why they do that. But every single time, and I mean every single time, that they have said, I grew up in X and X synagogue or X and X, XYZ congregation, I call up that congregation and ask them about the family, and rarely does the congregation have them even on their records, never heard of them.
Right.
They were never members, and basically the Messianics are just lying through their teeth.
Right. Yep. And it's like there's a video that came out about 2 years ago with Mattel Ballaston, who, if you had the video muted and all you saw was him sitting there, you would say, it's an Orthodox Jew. Just sitting there. He's got this, this tallit on. He's got the yarmulke, the beard, very Jewish. But then as soon as you listen to him talk, he puts the claim out there that he was an Orthodox Jew, was raised in an Orthodox family, blah blah blah. And here's the funny part. This is the part where I immediately just almost laughed out loud. It's one thing whenever you have an Orthodox Jew who says, and this hasn't happened, but it'd be one if they said, after studying Maimonides and years of research and here, I could see how maybe Yeshua he might be. But this guy said, I was raised Jewish, I was raised in a Jewish household, and all this other stuff, and he goes, and I found that Jesus was the Messiah because of Isaiah 53. And I was like, and Isaiah 7:14. And I'm thinking, that is like the dumbest place to go for an Orthodox Jew to ever say that he believes that Jesus is Messiah because of those two verses, Isaiah 7 and Isaiah 53. That's nonsense.
Most of the time, they don't even realize it. But what's happened is that they have, for whatever reason, gone with these people who have converted them, who have brought them in on an emotional basis. Okay, you listen to you read their autobiographies,
right?
And almost every single one of them will say, I was a drug addict. I was addicted to heroin. I was an alcoholic. Okay, I just got divorced. I mean, there are plenty of problems which Jesus takes the problem away.
Yep.
Okay, and only then are they exposed to the verses, and only then do they say the verses validate what they've already come to believe.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So emotionally and spiritually and whatever, they've accepted Jesus, and then they're shown the verses through the eyes of Christianity, and because they're already believing Christians, it validates their already existing belief.
Right. Hey, let me comment on this.
It doesn't work. They don't read the Bible, then become Christian. They become Christian,
and then
read the Bible through Christian eyes.
Right. Okay, so Not Muslim says, I can't believe you are blowing this off without even checking it out. First of all, Not Muslim, I don't blow anything off. I research this stuff, but I'm telling you, even after we're done, I will go and watch this thing, and I guarantee you this guy's not Orthodox. So I don't know where your stance is. Maybe you are a Christian or whatever, but at the end of the day,
he can claim whatever he wants to.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they will never say, "Here's my proof." I was a member of XYZ synagogue. I grew up there. I was bar mitzvahed there, because they don't want us to check up on them.
Right.
So they'll say something like, "Oh well, it would be an embarrassment to that synagogue. So I'm gonna do the right thing and not tell you where I was."
Interesting. Right.
That's how they usually work it.
So the final thought on that was that's not an open mind. Ariel Cohen Aloro is a full Jew, not Christian at all. Okay, if Ariel Cohen is the one you're talking about with the website, he is a Christian, because if he believes Jesus is a Messiah, then he's Christian. It's just a different package. I mean, it's like it took me a long time to wrap my head around that Messianics were the exact same thing as Christian, and they are, because they still believe in a demigod as their savior. Even though they practice different things, they're still Christian with a different package. Yes, sir.
The reason why they use the word messianic is because it's the adjectival form of the word Messiah. The adjective adjective of Messiah is messianic.
Right, gotcha.
The word Messiah, as you very well know, in Greek is Christ. The adverbial form, adjectival form of Christ is Christian. So they're avoiding calling themselves Christian by using the exact same term, Latinized, which is messianic.
Right.
Messiah becomes messianic. Christ becomes Christian.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So they call themselves messianic because they don't want to call themselves Christian, which is exactly what they are, and they're using the exact same term as Christian, except they're using the English form of the word Christ, which is Messiah, and then making it into an adjective.
Right. Interesting.
But let me say something.
Okay, sure.
That usually gets me in trouble, and I don't care. Okay, but people want to say that a Jew is always a Jew, and they'll quote a passage in the Talmud which says that even if a Jew sins, he's still a Jew. And therefore they'll say, oh, a person who was born of two parents who were Jewish, mother was Jewish, who converts to Christianity is still a Jew, and it's not as clear as they want to believe. Okay, the book, The Real Messiah, by the Orthodox rabbi Aryeh Kaplan. The book was published on behalf of the NCSY, which is the National Conference of Synagogue Youth, which is the Orthodox Jewish youth group for high school students. Okay, and it's published by the Union of Orthodox Jewish Congregations of America. Aryeh Kaplan is an incredibly well-respected, may he rest in peace, rabbi in the Orthodox community. And in that book, he wrote that if a Jew converts to Christianity, they're no longer a Jew. And he's referencing Maimonides in the Mishnah Torah, Avodat Kochavim, chapter 2, Halacha 5, where it explicitly says that if you convert to another religion, you're no longer a Jew. Maimonides said that. Aryeh Kaplan is referring to Maimonides in that book. And I can give you responsa after responsa after responsa that say the same thing. So it is not as clear as some people want to believe that, oh, once a Jew, always a Jew. It's not that clear.
Right.
So even if he was raised Orthodox, which I sincerely doubt, even if he is raised as part of an Orthodox synagogue, which I sincerely doubt, the fact that he's now a Christian means he's no longer a Jew.
Interesting. Yeah.
And a lot of people object to that. A lot of rabbis of every stripe, Orthodox rabbis included, will say, oh, no, that's not true, but they have to look at all the sources.
Sure. And that's the thing,
Okay.
because whenever I first left the Messianic movement, I was still in this little terrified moment where I was looking over my shoulder because I just knew something was going to explode and take me with it, based on all the curses I received from the people in the New Testament, and that's not a joke, by the way. And one of the first things that made me nervous after I decided to leave was like people started saying, "Didn't you know so and so was an Orthodox Jew and they got saved too? And here's why." And they wouldn't. And I never really proofed it in the beginning, but the more I kept hearing this stuff, I was thinking, well, it's kind of second guessing my choice. But then I'd go research these people, and I was like, this guy was no Orthodox Jew. I mean, he may be telling people that, but there's actually other people. It's kind of like do you remember the letter from the rabbi? Why is his name escaping me? Rabbi Singer and I did a huge video on this thing. This thing's probably
I can't think of his name.
that guy, right? So he was an old, really old, very famous rabbi in Israel, and he had a letter, and it said no one's supposed to open the letter for like a year after he died, and he supposedly
started saying, "Oh, he left a letter that named the Messiah."
Yeah, and you know what the ironic part about that is?
Everybody said it's just nothing but a pack of lies.
And the irony of that is, if he really believed that Jesus was the Messiah, right, then the teachings throughout the New Testament literally would condemn him. Because if he didn't tell anybody while he was alive and he kept it to himself as a secret, what does the New Testament say? It says, if you reject me before men, then I will reject you before my Father which is in heaven, right? So if he didn't tell anybody and he said, wait for a year after I'm dead and then do it, he just condemned himself. But then again, there's family members of him who actually have verified over and over again that this whole thing was a big sham. It was a big just publicity thing, trying to get people to buy into the whole.
It's no different than when they all of a sudden adopt a new name to give them a more Jewish sounding name.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm amazed at how many people on Facebook all of a sudden have a Jewish name, a Hebrew name, okay, and you dig a little deeper on their Facebook page, you dig a little deeper by using Google,
right,
and you find out that it was like Christopher Christensen, and then it changed, but now they're Abraham Ben
Moshe.
Yeshua or something like that.
Right. Very true. Sorry, I have not been watching the YouTube chat much, but hello, John Wiseman. Good to see you back here again as well. Michael Faircloth, Purpose Films. Rabbi can't see it tonight. Rabbi Federow can't see the chat tonight because he's Skyping with his phone, so he can't monitor the chat. So I'm going to do my best to follow along.
And William, tell Michael I hope he's feeling better.
Oh, good. I'm pretty sure he probably heard you. That's good. Okay, Fernando Colon, good to see you. Jason Akers, love you, man. I was going to call you today, Jason, and I didn't for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, I figured you're getting bugged enough. Green Acres Pest Control, by the way. Go to Jason Akers. He's also my tech guy, but awesome stuff there. He's a whiz kid when it comes to pest control. It's amazing. Okay, so Fernando, question. Okay, first of all, the phone lines are open. If any of you want to call in, that would be better than having your text on screen because I may not see it. And plus, it'd be nice to get a phone call because I'm not even sure if the phone lines are working because it hasn't rang since I turned it on. So I'm going to try to read Fernando's question here. Upon what part of Tanakh? There we go. Let's take this first, and we'll answer this. Hello, welcome to the show. Please tell me your name, where you're calling from.
Hi, I'm David from London.
Hey, David, how are you? Looks like Rabbi just dropped off there for a second. Hang on one second. Don't hang up yet. Let me see if I can get Rabbi back in here. He's in a hotel and using their Wi-Fi, so I don't know how strong his signal is, but we'll find out here in just a minute. Let me see if I can get him back on real fast. What is your question? And I'll just reiterate it when he comes in.
Okay. I also wanted to know what the I remember there was one show where he said that when somebody is Jewish and they leave changing their religion to another religion, there's a name for it, and he said it's the worst thing you could ever call somebody Jewish, and I can't remember that. I've actually never heard the term used, which interested me. I was wondering what that term was.
Interesting. Was it apostate Jew or something? Maybe I'm not really sure. I can't.
It was some Hebrew term, not just for apostate, but leaving to another, changing their religion. It's the most terrible thing, and that there was a name for it, a Hebrew word, and I can't remember.
Interesting.
What it was.
Okay, yeah. When Rabbi
it sounded like a Hebrew word.
Okay, and it may very well have been. Yeah. So let me see if I can get it. I don't know why he dropped off. It looks like I'm dropping off too. Why is my internet acting this way? Interesting. Maybe it's on this end. Yesterday our internet crashed because of really bad storms, and so it's very possible my internet just crashed again. Yesterday we had bad storms. Let me see if I can get the speaker on here. Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me? Oh, I don't know what happened there. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Bear with me, folks. I guess our internet still hasn't been fully resolved just yet, so hang tight. Rabbi, hang up and let me call you. Okay? Can you hear me? This is funny. What a test. Can you hear me at all? You can't hear me at all. Hang on. Okay, let's try that now. See if you could... how about now? Anything?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, can you still hear me?
And now it's out again.
Okay, hold on. Okay, but now you can hear me again?
I can hear you
Okay.
now.
Okay, good. All right, so apparently our internet is still glitching because of all the bad storms yesterday. We're still on, though. We're back online and good. But I have two Skype accounts. You called me from the other one. Called me on the other one, which is on my phone, so no one will be able to see you.
Call me back.
Yeah, hang up and let me call you, and then you answer the phone, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye. All right, let's try this again. Skype. Okay. Let's see if he answers this way. I got too many Skype accounts. There we go. I think we got connected again. Yeah, for whatever reason, they've.
I also think the Wi-Fi in the hotel is not great.
Well, I know for a fact that mine glitched because my signal bar just turned red, like right when you disconnected. So it's probably they probably still don't have our internet fully resolved just yet. So, but it's okay.
So what was his question?
Okay, his question was there was a term that he had heard before from another rabbi when a person leaves Judaism to another religion, and it's not apostate Jew, but he said there was a Hebrew word for that person who leaves, and I don't know what it was.
It could be a mumar. It could be a give me a second.
Okay, gotcha.
It could be a mashumad. A
Gotcha.
mashumad. It could be in the Yiddish geschmacht.
That's good enough. Yeah, that'll work.
I'm not sure what. Did he know the word?
No, he said that he would probably recognize it if he had heard it, but he said he thinks it was a Hebrew word,
Right.
or at least it sounded like
Could
it might
be
have been.
mashumad.
Maybe mushkana.
It could be mashumad. It could be
Crazy. That's funny.
What's the word? I think it's mumar, but I could be mispronouncing it.
Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, our upload speed is messing up again. I don't know. I guess they kind of are messing with the internet to try to get it back to full power, but it's not there. It's breaking up again. So, but I think we've got a strong enough signal to continue. I just won't be able to put it on Facebook and YouTube until they get it back full strength again. So. But anyway, that's okay.
All right.
We can still push through on the YouTube channel, so that's fine. Okay, so good enough for that. I'm going to monitor this. If according to you guys, anyone who accepts Jesus is Christian, then anyone who accepts Moses and the Torah must be a Jew.
That's nonsense. First of all, there's no such thing as accepting Moses. What does that mean?
Right.
Accepting Moses as what?
Well, he said Moses.
A man who lived?
Let's just say,
Has,
let's edit it. Accepts the Torah. How about that?
and that would be like saying somebody who agrees with capitalism and democracy is a U.S. citizen automatically. It's not true.
Right.
Remember what did God say to Abraham? I will make you a great
nation.
Exactly. Yeah. Nations have citizenship laws.
Okay.
Okay. They have laws of becoming.
Just put that anywhere.
That was me. That was me.
It's okay.
They have laws
You're
of
good.
becoming naturalized as a citizen. And our process of naturalization to become a citizen of the Jewish people is called conversion to the religion of Judaism.
Okay.
So just saying I believe in Moses, which is a weird way to put it, that's a very Christian idea.
Right.
Or saying I accept Torah as authoritative does not in fact make you a Jew. You would have to convert because that's our naturalization process to become a member of the Jewish nation. And I don't mean the state of Israel. I mean the people of Israel, because God said I will make you a great nation, not a great. God did not say I will make you a great ethnic group. God did not say I will make you a great culture. Okay?
Right. Good point.
He said I will
good
make
point.
you a great. I'm sorry. Say it again.
I say great point. That's a really good point you make.
Well, it's what we are. So you know.
Yeah. Okay, let's take this call. Caller, welcome to the show. Please tell me your name, where you're calling from.
Hi, William. This is Fernando Colon from South Carolina.
Fernando, it's good to hear you again, man. How have you been?
Yeah, I wrote the question, but I actually have two questions for the rabbi.
Okay.
And, I just want brief explanations. The first one is that on what did Jesus base himself when he said, turn the other cheek? Because he's supposedly a continuation of the Mosaic revelation, and sometimes I think about it, and I don't know, like, where he could get this idea from of I do turning the other cheek.
Gotcha.
That's the first question.
Okay. Before you ask the second question, let me repeat it to the rabbi because he has a hard time hearing through his phone. So let's do this. Okay.
Yes.
So Rabbi, in fact, I'm going to turn you down just a minute to make sure there's no feedback. Okay, Fernando, just hang on a second. So basically, what did Jesus mean by turn the other cheek? That's his main question because he said he's been thinking about that for a while. I've heard a really interesting point of view, which I'll share with you as we discuss this. But that's his first question. What would Jesus have meant by turn the other cheek, and how does that relate to Torah? Okay, Fernando, what is your second question?
Second question is, in the New Testament, there is an unforgivable sin. And I remember when I was a child that I learned that. I was in church. I was maybe like 12, 13. It was driving me crazy because I thought maybe I committed a sin, and I was very concerned.
Right.
And is there anything equivalent to that in Judaism, like an unforgivable sin? If someone commits such a sin, God is never, ever, ever, ever going to forgive him. And that's the second question.
Okay, cool. That's a great question. I know Rabbi will help fine tune the thoughts I've got on my head, but the one thing that I heard was the one unpardonable, unforgivable sin was by taking Hashem's name in vain and using it inappropriately. And that was something that, of course, there was more to it than that. Rabbi Singer expressed a whole lot of details on it. But okay, Fernando, let me hang up and we'll go ahead and get these questions, and we're going to answer this next caller too. Okay?
Yeah, I'll be watching.
Okay, shalom. Okay, I'm going to caller, just welcome to the show, but please hold just for a few minutes. We're going to let Rabbi answer these two questions really quick. So just sit tight, okay?
Okay.
No, I was talking
First
to,
of all,
talking to
his
the caller.
question
Okay.
involving turning the other cheek.
Yes.
According to the New Testament, what Jesus meant by it is that you're supposed to play a passive role. I have my disagreements with that statement, but nevertheless, Jesus was saying if somebody slaps you on the right cheek, okay, don't argue with him, don't rebuke him, okay, but rather turn to him the other cheek so he can hit that one as well.
Okay.
It's in a context, by the way, of if someone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the left. If one sues you for your jacket, give him your coat. If one makes you go 1 mile, go 2 miles.
Right.
Okay, that's what he meant. And he's right in saying that it's not in the Torah, but it's still in the Tanakh. Turning the other cheek is actually a quotation, more or less, of something that's found in the book of Lamentations.
Okay.
And when Lamentations is talking about it, there are two different ways to interpret it, okay? The first way, which is not the popular way, is that, or I should say it's not the majority opinion, is that one of the things that the book of Lamentations is lamenting is the fact that people are turning the other cheek. Okay? That they shouldn't turn the other cheek. That, you know, that they should rise up against injustice and respond to it accordingly. But if you take a look at the book of Lamentations, okay, the way I have seen it understood is that, how do I word this?
Okay.
It's like people aren't letting insults go by. They're not being compassionate or forgiving. And so the book of Lamentations is saying, you know, don't rise up against everything that, you know, insults you or hurts your feelings, but rather turn the other cheek. Okay. Now, I got to tell you, there's an element of this in the New Testament, in that quotation where Jesus says, you know, if someone slights you on the right cheek, turn to him the left. If he sues you for your jacket, give him your coat. If he makes you go 1 mile, go 2 miles. Okay. And to me, this speaks of the passive aggression of Jesus. Because if somebody wants you to go 1 mile and you go 2 miles, you haven't taken what he asked you to take to where he wants it. It's now a mile in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If somebody slaps you in the right cheek, okay, what he wants is for you to respond, like get into a fight with him. And when you, when your response is to turn the other cheek, he's not getting what he wants. Okay. If somebody sues you for your jacket and you give him your coat, he's getting more than he wants.
Right. Sure.
It's a form of passive aggression.
Okay.
Okay. And what was your take on that?
One thing that I had heard, which was I don't agree with it, but it had an interesting idea attached to it, and that was by turning the other cheek. The whole purpose of turning the other cheek was to make sure that the person who hits you was doing it intentionally, and you know, you could chop that up and however you want to. Like I said, there's a little bit of an idea, I guess you could say, that could be maybe you're driving down the road and, you know, or walking down the sidewalk and some guy's fist accidentally bumped into your nose. I mean, I don't get that, but I heard that. I won't tell you the source because it's kind of embarrassing, but it is something that's out there. Just another claim that's out there.
It doesn't matter in the context of where the paragraph in which that statement is found. It can't be what he meant.
Right. Agreed.
If somebody sues you for your jacket, give him your coat. Isn't some way to find out if he really wanted your jacket.
Right. And what was the second?
In context, he's clearly wrong.
I forgot the second question was. What was the second
question? Is in which you basically already answered.
Okay.
Is in Judaism, is there an unforgivable sin?
Oh yeah. Right. Gotcha.
And you know, look, it's a very important point in the Ten Commandments that God explicitly says, I will not hold guiltless someone who takes the name of the eternal your God in vain.
Right.
Okay, so, you know, there's kind of right there, he's saying that you're not going to get off for this one.
Right. True.
Which, by the way, implies for everything else you will get off.
Right. That's a good point. Okay, let's take this next caller.
But
yeah. Go ahead.
Real quickly.
Sure.
Okay. It's important to understand why this is so important to God, that he will not hold guiltless someone who transgresses it.
Okay.
It's a mistranslation to say that to take the name of the eternal your God in vain. It's not what the text says.
Right.
What the text says is you will not lift up the name of the eternal your God in vain. What does it mean to lift up? It means it's a statement against hypocrisy.
Okay.
And as you and I have discussed this before, my image is like for a Jew, it's like somebody wearing a yarmulke and, tzitzit while he robs a bank.
Right. Oh, yeah, right.
Pretending to be Jewish and a believer in God and the God's morality and ethics. At the same time, he's breaking it. In other words, it's a statement against hypocrisy. It's not a statement against speech. Okay.
Right.
Lifting up the name of the eternal your God is like, wearing a chai around your neck and then treating somebody poorly.
Yeah, true. Which is one of the, I believe the Talmud actually covers an area. It says if a person is going to sin and they're bound and determined to do it, they better change their clothes and get as far away from here as you can. Don't associate your sinful activities with the Most High, and
right.
don't let it be something they.
Why is it so important to God that He can't let it go? It's because it makes God look stupid, and Judaism looks stupid, and the Torah looks stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, when any religious leader is found out to be a hypocrite, it casts aspersions on the entire religion and the whole people who follow those beliefs.
Right.
So God can't afford to let that go.
Yeah, true. Okay, let's take this caller. Caller, welcome to the show. Please tell me your name, where you're calling from.
My name is Daniel, and I'm calling from Israel.
Daniel from Israel, welcome to the show, my friend. What's the question for tonight?
Thank you. I actually have a question, but I would also like to add for the last point that you were talking about taking the name in vain.
Yes, sir.
If it's possible.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
It's important to understand that a lot of people from who came out of the church don't understand regarding taking the name in vain is that even if God cannot forgive for the sin, it doesn't mean that His only way of punishing us for taking the name in vain is taking away our eternal life or our place in the world to come. He has a million other ways to punish us.
Yeah, agreed.
So
right.
Even if someone did take the name in vain, and I have to confess, I did take the name in vain when I was younger, and I didn't have knowledge. But it doesn't mean I'm going to lose my place in the world to come.
That's a great point. And here's just to kind of to add some more spherical understanding to that. I've got 4 children, and when I tell my son or daughter or whoever, if you did this and I'm not going to forgive you for this, so I'm going to ground you. Right? I'm not going to forgive you. I'm going to ground you. If I forgave you, then all bets were off, and then you're off the hook, blah, blah, blah. But I can ground them. I can, give them swats, whatever the case may be. But it doesn't mean that I'm disconnecting myself from them. Which is what you're saying. You're not. Doesn't mean you're going to lose your place in Olam Haba. It just means that you won't get off the hook for that. You will pay for that somehow, however that might be. So that's a great point. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay, go ahead with your question.
Okay, so my question is a little bit of a deep one.
Okay.
And I wanted the rabbi's opinion on it. By the way, hey, Rabbi.
Hi.
And could Jesus be in some way like a second iteration of the snake from the garden? And by that I mean there are a lot of points of similarities between Jesus and the snake. The first of which is, the false prophet from Deuteronomy 18 being a sort of a test to see if we love God and His Word. As it says that He will send a false prophet to see if we love God, if we love His Word, if we are willing to cling to His Word. And both Jesus and the snake said, or sort of promised eternal life to those who believe in them. The snake said that you will not surely die.
That's awesome.
And Jesus promised eternal life to those who believe in Him. But the Torah tells us that eternal life is for those who listen to God's words, as opposed to the words of Jesus and the words of the snake. And as it says, God is our life and our longevity if we do what He says, meaning the commandments, which in turn the snake and Jesus oppose. And it got me thinking that maybe Jesus is the sort of like a snake to the nations, who is to be sort of a stumbling block for them in, I don't know how long, 2,000 and 100 years, to overcome that stumbling block and come to truly love Hashem and come to truly gain eternal life through the proper way, the commandments, or in their way, the commandments of Noah.
Interesting.
That's all I wanted to say.
Hey, that's really cool, man. I appreciate your input. That was actually quite refreshing. Yeah, that's interesting. I'd like to hear Rabbi's thoughts on that as well. So thanks for calling in. And if you want to, we'll go and disconnect now, and we'll let Rabbi take it away, okay?
Hey, great. Shalom.
Well,
Shalom.
William,
Yes.
my response is I think it's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, and a chidush, I've never heard that before.
I have not either, but that's brilliant.
That's a new one on me.
Yeah, it's brilliant, though.
Okay, but the snake was a snake.
Yeah.
He wasn't a devil. He was a snake.
Right.
Okay, so and Jesus may in some ways act like a snake in the grass, to continue his analogy, but Jesus was a human and a snake was a snake. So it's an interesting comparison, but he's not a snake.
Well, the point being, I think, and what I think his comparison was quite brilliant, was the similarities of the storyline, and what was being presented with the message of the serpent in the Garden of Eden, and what's being presented with the message of Jesus.
I think it's it's a very interesting. Like I said, it's a chidush. I'd never heard it before.
Right.
It's very interesting. It's very analogous. That's true, but to say that it's like I forgot how he worded it, I can't remember what he said, like a reincarnation of the snake.
Or not reincarnate, just like another, like a almost like a parallel to the snake, not necessarily.
Or so like a type and shadow, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, something kind of like that, like a similarity, like another.
Yeah, I tend not to like types and shadows, but okay, but it's very interesting though.
Yeah, I thought so too. That was cool. Okay, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, guys. This is Mike from Las Vegas again.
Hello,
How
Mike.
are you?
Welcome back.
I'm happy to be back. I'm going to kind of throw a boomerang into the mix here, and I hope you guys don't mind.
Okay, go for it. Is it a question or a statement?
A question.
Okay, bring it on.
Full of questions. A friend of mine, and it seems like it's always in topic of, the 12 tribes, the lost tribes, and it's always something into that. They come to me with these questions, and I said, I don't know these answers. So I said, my favorite thing is, if I don't know, I'll find out and come back to you with it.
Excellent.
So my question
That's
today
good.
for Rabbi.
We have the right to do that too. We may not know the answer yet either.
True.
That's a caveat in advance. But anyway, now I can look back and probably dig a little bit for myself, but I kind of want a little bit better streamlined answer. That's what I'm calling. The wife of Moses, her family tribe, were they part of the original tribes, or am I totally, completely goofball answer question?
I was
Wait,
thinking
was
she
who? I didn't
was
hear the question.
was Zipporah, was she Egyptian or Jewish? Well, yeah. So, was she a foreign bride or was she of the tribes?
Are you talking about Zipporah? Or
Yes.
Did he say Devorah?
No,
Deborah.
Moses' wife Zipporah.
Moses' wife was clearly not from the tribes.
Right, she was Egyptian, right?
Right.
Right. Okay.
But you may remember, as part of the story, Moses had stalled, shall we say, to do the Brit Milah.
Right.
And it's his wife who ran to say, Moses, you're making a big mistake here. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
And that, if it indicates nothing less, it indicates at least that she converted to Judaism.
Yeah,
or else
right.
why would she care if they were circumcised or not?
Right. I mean, she wasn't very pleased about it, of course. She's like, bloody God you serve. So we know she was not Jewish already just by that statement alone, because the Jewish people had no problem
Say
with
it
it.
again?
I said when she approached Moses and, I guess they slapped the foreskin on the ground and said, a bloody God that you serve. She told Moses this.
I think that's a bit of a mistranslation.
Really? What would be? I would like to. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Let me look it up here.
Not bloody God, but a and I can't. I'll disconnect you if I try to look at my
Just
Bible, program.
you don't have to. Just tell me. Actually, never mind. I'll find it here. Hang on. I just realized I can do it myself here.
The statement isn't bloody God. The statement is
That is Exodus 12:13, maybe. No, Exodus 4:25 actually. There it is, right there. Let me look it up here fast. Exodus 4 and then 25. And the Hebrew, okay, English, she took a sharp knife and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me. Okay, is that
right?
Would that be more accurate? Is that kind of what you were saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that was my misunderstanding.
And I can't remember, William. I can't remember what it is offhand, but the term blood husband. Okay. Is a special thing, and I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
It's not like the English when they say bloody is a curse word,
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, it's literally of blood.
It says Chatan Damim Atalo. So whatever that.
Wait, say it again.
Chatan. Right.
Husband or groom.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay. Damim. Blood.
Blood.
Right. That's the phrase. Chatan Damim Atalo.
Yeah.
He is to me.
A husband of blood.
Or Lee, not Lo. Lee. Okay, gotcha. It's George to me. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, but it's a special concept. It has roots in Mideastern cultures. I can't remember right now what it is, but it wasn't bloody God.
Okay,
it was bloody husband, and it wasn't bloody like the English say. That's bloody wrong or whatever.
Right. Interesting. Okay, cool. So, now what I can't remember is the caller who's online, if we already took the call or not.
No, I'm still here.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, and one more, just a side note. Well, I guess continuing its thread. In the Exodus and through the 40 years in the desert, was any of Sephora's family into that part of the 40 years into the desert?
Oh, that's
a crazy question.
No, it's actually a great question. And my understanding was that
what
Sephora's family, were any of her family, were they part of the 40 years in the desert? And my thought on it would be no, not even the two sons, Gershom and what was the other one? Her two sons, neither one of them were even there, which is one of the reasons why they weren't chosen to be a successor to Moshe Rabbeinu whenever Joshua stepped forward. So because they had no hand in it, right?
But it was a different need. Moses was a leader, spiritual, mental, emotional. What they need was physical leadership because he was militarily taking over the promised land.
Gotcha.
So, he was trained. Remember, Joshua was trained to be a military.
Right. True.
Right, but.
But so to answer your question,
I must tell you, I don't know. I'd have to look it up myself. I don't remember.
The only thing that I've heard was the only people mentioned that was related to her was Jethro, and then the two sons, and of course Jethro at one point came in.
Right, but the story is where they're coming back to Moses, and it seems to me that they were joining Moses with the rest of the Jews, and therefore would have been part of the 40 years in the wilderness.
But not part of the 40 years, maybe later on, right? I mean, not through all the suffering and through all the, well, not suffering, but
where was the verse found about bloody husband?
That was Exodus 4:25, I believe.
Right. So it's before the Exodus. It's before.
But wasn't there a space of time though from Exodus 4:25, and then he separated himself from his wife and children, and later on, Jethro brought his wife back to him many years later, or whatever, however that worked out, something like that. Right.
But I don't remember. But I don't remember how long it was. I thought it was pretty soon after the beginning of the Exodus out of Egypt.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But I'd have to look it up, William. I don't remember.
Okay. Well, great questions, though.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, you betcha, man. Hey, you bet. Take care.
Get these questions to me, and I just hit a stone wall. I'm not sure where to go.
There you go.
But I want to thank you guys for your guys' time and your patience with some questions like mine.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, we appreciate
Bye-bye.
you too, man. Take care.
Anytime.
Bye-bye. That's awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, cool. We still got a few minutes left. It's about 8:54. Okay, so we'll keep the phone lines open, and so if you keep calling in, and I've got the YouTube channel a little easier to spot now. I've got it on a different screen. I've had it overlaying 3 screens. Being that I'm wearing, like, what do you call them, bifocals, and then I have a third set of glasses for a trifocal. I have to switch glasses to see the screen far away.
I'd lose my balance. I'd stumble.
Right.
I couldn't do trifocals. Couldn't do it.
That's funny. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. A lot of comments going within themselves on the YouTube chat. So, yeah. So basically, yeah, it's kind of. I just find it interesting that there's so many people who are telling testimonies to other people and to Jewish people, telling them they were Jews and that they were raised in, households that were Jewish and all this other stuff. And it's nonsense. I mean, it's like the ones that I've actually have been able to share in the research on, it's been complete nonsense. You know what I mean? And so just another way to try to convince people, I can tell you when I was...
They're legit.
Yeah, that they're legit, right, and that they...
And tell me something, William.
Yeah.
Okay, if they claim to be, grew up in an Orthodox home, usually their next statement would be, but we were never observant. So, no, wait a minute. How Orthodox of a household were you in if you didn't keep kosher?
Yeah, right. Right.
I mean...
That's funny.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say I was raised in a Orthodox Jew, as an Orthodox Jew, and then say, oh, but my parents didn't do anything and we didn't, sit around the table on Shabbat.
Right. That's funny. And it's I don't know. I'm still chuckling in my mind about that Mattel Belliston, and they just went through all this rigmarole, and then he brings up Isaiah 7:14. I'm thinking, oh my God, are you kidding me? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right. Reminds me of the pamphlet that was placed on my car, because the back of my car and everything. And the pamphlet was basically Isaiah 53 with the Hebrew.
Right.
And what's amazing to me about that is that they assume that the people they give it to don't know the Hebrew.
Right.
Because all they did was supply the Hebrew and then supply their Christian translation, which is clearly wrong.
Yeah, right.
So they're assuming that the Jews that they give the pamphlet to don't know Hebrew, or else it would be obvious and evident and immediately evident that the translation is faulty, because you got the Hebrew right there.
So true. So true. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Well, Rabbi, let's wrap it up. It's been fun. Always good to see you. Thank you all for tuning in.
Next week is Tisha B'Av, so...
Oh, yeah, next week we will not
Monday,
be recording. Yeah, we will not have a recording next... Well, actually, I won't anyway. I'm doing every other week in the studio, so I would have missed you even if Tisha B'Av wasn't that anyway.
Which you did on purpose.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
yeah, that's the story.
Yeah. I'm smart that way. Okay. Okay. Well, Rabbi, thank you, man. You have a great night. Tell your wife thank you for lending you to us. You're such an awesome guy. I really appreciate you and your wife. So look forward to seeing you guys next time. Shalom, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Take care. Bye.